Hello everyone, welcome to another FACEIT League game. We're getting really towards the end of a FACEIT League season, and we're all about qualifying for the top 8. Now, the next two teams we're about to see, Supershy and Ex Oblivione, both in the top 8. Ex Oblivione should be able to seal 4th place, should be feeling pretty good about this, and then Supershy, meanwhile, should also be sealed for 8th place as well. So, wow, in terms of FACEIT qualification, this FACEIT game might not actually move all that much, or mean all that much, rather. It does put us in a situation... I'll get this up so you can see the bands while we do this as well. But it does also put us in a situation where these two teams played in OWCS last weekend as well, of course, which means... And if you missed that, what it means is Ex Oblivione got reverse swept by Supershy. So revenge is on the table here. Well, hopefully Ex Oblivione hopes it's on the table. Supershy will be hoping to get a sort of back-to-back victory situation, of course. 2 results over them. I mean, if you're Supershy, you keep being Ex Oblivione. Eventually, you might just start considering Supershy maybe one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the region. So, well, there's not a lot that will shift in terms of placements. There is, I think, a lot of pride on the line and a lot to play for still. I'll, of course, be joined by Unter when he finishes his YouTube action. Meanwhile, we will get a look at these bands. Obviously, we don't get the maps revealed until right at the end. So until then, we can crack a cold one and see which way we go. Obviously, Ex Oblivione are picking this map. Blizzard World has been the ban from Ex Oblivione. Supershy are choosing what to ban in response, and it will be Paricio. So normally what a Paricio ban means is, I don't really want to take the dive mirror. Oh, we've gone to on hold, which is not normally a great sign.
Is the match on hold?
It's just gone on hold, yeah, which is...
That's nice.
Suboptimal.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be cancelled. It could be started without you being invited.
Ooh.
We got options.
Nah, it never happened. We're always invited.
True. Except for that one time.
Yeah, but in hindsight, I didn't actually want to be invited, you know, so...
True. It's pretty low quality games, so...
Alright. Lineup's been finalized. Are substitutions happening? What? I'm not sure if exactly what we're seeing on screen is conducive. We're starting the map bans again. There's been a reset in map bans, so we're doing it all over again.
Oh, wonderful. This has been a really common theme in the past couple of days. Like, matches go on hold and then they do the draft like 3 or 4 times. I swear it's like a stalling strategy, you know? Like, someone's just not there. But it seems like they're absolutely breezing through it this time, so...
Oh, Treaders said the wrong tank was in. So Alisu instead of Ice.
Tread, so knowledgeable. It's weird, though, because I swear... What time is it right now? BST?
7:05 in the evening.
I swear 7 BST is when Tread should be playing matches. This is like the standard time for FACEIT matches, right? So surely Tread has a match right now that he should be at. No?
No matches. He says he's playing ranked instead. Interesting.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because Tread's on a team that's competing in this tournament.
Well, it's just one of those unsolvable mysteries, you know, one of those great mysteries of life. Nah, really, there's no way of telling why he's not in game right now.
There is literally no way of telling under any circumstance.
There's not a man, woman, or anything alive that could tell you the answer to that.
There's nobody who could provide such an insight.
Looks like we've managed to get through this draft, though.
The draft is actually over. We're about to start the match.
Well, we're getting to... They just need to pick their escort map. Supershy deliberating between Chicken Royale and Dorado.
Yeah, if they could stop thinking and get into the action, that would be nice. Because you know, I think we're ready to get this underway. And they've had like 2 sets of time to think about it as well, you know. Given they've already put the match on hold once. I just need to start spreading some orange propaganda, to be honest.
That is your primary function.
Yeah, at least for these matches, you know. I'm not entirely sure what narratives I'm going to push when North America inevitably shows up.
You're going to need to find your North American orange.
Yeah, but Who could it be?
I don't know. Could be anyone. I'm trying to think who's in North America. Could it be Lep?
Yeah, Lep. We could do some dogpiling. We could do some dogpiling.
Always good for some dogpiling.
Yeah. No, definitely not PGE. It's like, it's lame to just glaze PGE, you know? Yeah, Meatball. Wait, is Meatball still on TSM?
No.
Who's the Lucio for TSM?
Well, I've got a lobby invite. I want to say, I know this. Who did they replace him with? Oh no, it is Lep. Is it Lep? Did they go Lep Renko on TSM? Yeah, Lep Renko have been reunited again.
Is Meatball on like Citrus or something? What's he doing?
No, I don't think he's on any of the major teams we saw in group stages from memory.
Meatball's dead. He got to TSM and that was it.
That was his peak.
Does anyone know where Meatball is, chat?
Can we get a bit of a search on the go? A bit of a...
Meatball is inactive.
Oh no.
Oh my god. We've got another fucking streamer mode user?
Being told Maple was in purgatory from a contract.
TSM contract keeping him hostage? They kick him from the roster, but they won't release him from his contract? I think that's really awesome. Me personally. When the contract probably resulted in them getting paid like $13 a week.
That would make it actually one of the better contracts in North America.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's that's probably a top 3 team contract right there, you know? 13 bones a week.
Oh, we have
We're actually
motion.
getting into the... Jeez. This guy knows motion. The famous contract jail. I mean, look, he wouldn't be the first player to be thrown into contract jail, but to do it nowadays is just sad, you know? Faith getting contract jailed by Pokerface, that was unfucking believable. Like, 2024, and you're still trying to get blood from the stone. Like, it's over. I just want to know what happened to O2 Boss.
Maybe he's the boss of something else now.
I choose to believe so. I
hope so. Hope so, you know.
Flak Drift says, I love contract jail. And nobody is in a better position in North America to put you in contract jail than Flak, actually. So that
he's got the keys to the prison if he wants to. He can
Yeah, no, we've got an actual prison warden. Oh, like, you see how they've all gone streamer mode to make this more difficult?
Does this mean we need to root against them?
Well, I don't know the names of any of their players, so it's actually going to be impossible. I'm going to be calling them their streamer mode names for the entire match.
I could tell you once if you think it will help. The tank is Hitori, DPS is Pack and Zoro the hit scan, and then Podanova flex support, Sobek for British Maestro on Lucio.
Wonderful. Straight, yeah, that's all been retained actually, so now really happy with that. Rolling out Zarya, Genji, Bap on Garden. I think this is a bit of a blast from the past. Fortunately, however, even though their comp is arse, Zerion is even more arse. Decides not to heal Lauren, and Lauren just dies to absolutely nothing, getting poked out into neutral.
And, well, that's about as easy a fight as you'll see, so I guess how you would really expect this to work. It's a little bit of a weird one, right? Because normally Genji, Zarya, you expect some kind of bubbly your Genji in, but what are you really bubbling your Genji onto here? So it might actually be more defensive bubbles for the Zarya herself and for the Ashe, but if you just get opening picks, you don't need to bubble anyone, so we'll see how they play this next fight.
Yeah, maybe the Zarya is less about the aggression and more just about beaming the Diva here. Seems to having no issues doing that as well, as Ice instantly loses his suit. Also, Ange being taken down early on by Macaroni Glove, the Lucio of Supershy. God, what pricks.
Retake now. Gucci got a couple of trades, which actually means this is wide open. We see Hitori trying to live, but it's actually... It's actually Portanova goes immediately down in the window. You can hear the cogs in my head turning as I'm trying to translate it live.
Yes, Portanova is a strange way to say bastard. And then Shimado with a 5 and a 4 takes down Zerian. So even though it looked like EXO were having a reasonable chance at retaking this, unfortunately, the 5 streamer mode Supershy men have managed to take it in the end, clutching it out. Lots of shooting from the Ash, uncontested up in main, causing a little bit of trouble now for EXO.
I guess shy by name, shy by nature, as they choose to keep their identities hidden. And they're now going to... Well, just another pick. Zerian's gone down again, so, well...
Good
Overwatch
Lord.
can be a complicated game, but it can be a really easy game if you just shoot on someone's face before anything happens.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it shows you that there's a little bit of an understanding problem from EXO when they go the Winston comp and then immediately rotate inside towards the control room, you know? That's not where you're going to get a retake on the Winston comp. They also have a Pharah. Terrible space. Ange gets grabbed, but somehow manages to get the beat off. It's just an Ange difference at times, you know? W Ange in the chat for that beat drop chat. But Zerian goes down to the blade of garlic bread. Unbelievable. And it is looking like, even though the support ultimates were quite good for EXO, it's not enough to close it out.
Yeah, really rough start, actually. The Grav looked pretty good, right? You catch both supports. Zerian Suzu's, but Ange doesn't beat on the Suzu timing. Ange just, I guess, has the awareness and the understanding that it wasn't the follow-up to kill him in that Grav. So milks the beat for a little bit longer. But it doesn't actually make a big difference in terms of it, and they end up losing that first map, and we'll move on to Control Center.
It genuinely feels like Ange can't do more, to be honest, because he has this unbelievable presence of mind to not use his beat drop when Suzu and instead wait till the absolute 11th hour. Like, truly just Ange giving it his all with the beat drop. But unfortunately, you know, there was nothing else to actually help their team win the game. No barrages killing the enemy team or anything like that. We're seeing now EXO rolling out on this Malga comp yet again. Last time we saw them play that, we saw them really heavily struggle versus spam comps. Pharahs and whatnot, giving them a lot of difficulty, nothing to rush. Fortunately, this time around, Supershy, they're actually on a comp that they can gap close to. There's a BAP, there's a Cassidy, there's a Mei, lots of heroes to catch. But Ange, he goes down early in the piece. He flew too close to the sun, or too far away from the corner. And there he goes, first pick, and that's going to be the first fight for nothing.
Because in reality, we talked about how the Malga comp had issues in the previous one, but the comp that Supershy are playing, I feel like it's the perfect comp to play in this Malga Venture Chaser into. As we see a big old slam, finds nothing. They will to disengage here, Supershy. They do have to lamp, but now a chance for a pushback timing before Ice gets this next slam, but maybe not actually. They've just conceded the space. They've lost the point. They're trying to flip out white, but the Burrow shepherds them back, and they've just been bullied off this point for free.
Yeah, no, a completely free retake there, only countered by the fact that looks like EXO have just gotten a bit too aggressive. Even though they didn't have all of the skills to really sustain a push, they got that free cap. They've gone and rushed back in. They've exchanged a free retake in turn. And Ice, I mean, look, he's having no impact on the Malga despite that free retake. Ice, he's only 40% to the Malga ultimate. He's doing no damage.
Yeah, luckily everything just seems to be working out for Supershy regardless of this. Obviously, we saw in OWCS a bit of a Supershy upset over Ex Oblivion, so maybe there's an element of the mental game working against him here, because this has been a pretty rough start for Ex Oblivion with just how many fights are just somebody dead before anything happens, and now a big old wall. But he dies for it.
Yeah, no. I really cannot understand what is going on with where these teams are choosing to fight. They have this massive ultimate advantage. Supershy, all they need to do is just play a slow neutral on the point, and instead they push in towards the spawn. Ice has the ability to go to the point and flip the cap, but instead he comes back to his team to pepper a couple of bullets in on the left. So he looks a little bit confused, a little bit lost about what he's supposed to be doing. But ultimately, you know, we've got a retake here for EXO. We're back on the board.
Also cost him nothing as well, so Alta economy pretty reasonable. Kitsune Rush maybe the next one to start this one with, be nice and aggressive, but no, it's a high noon swing out. He's so aggressive, they lamp and beat him through. Later beat from Ange comes through, but now the Blizzard, how many people will be in it? Ice is most certainly iced up right now. Gets taken down, now the annihilation could be the finisher, but Ange has escaped. There's nothing to annihilate, and it's just going to turn into a scrappy dogfight, and Gucci is cleaning up those scraps.
Yeah, You know, the second beat from Orange was excellent, keeping everybody alive a lot longer than what Macaroni Gloves beat was able to sustain them through. And just winning that ult exchange. Thoughts on Hawk Tour? Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. And now EXO are in a much better position. They have the cage with a little pulse bomb to throw in as a bonus. And honestly, it's so hard to win versus that combo. The only way that you could possibly fuck that up any harder is if you would only get the hero with an immunity in your cage. But I think despite that, there's still a chance that they win this. Ice really not impressing me on the Mauga whatsoever. Rushing his cage when, again, he can just pull the enemy in, wait for them to walk out into the open. So they haven't won a fight with this free combo. They've used Pulse, they've used Cage, now everything's back to neutral and they haven't gotten a kill for it. Oh, Garlic Bread picks Lauren in main and just left clicks him to death. This is a very sloppy matchup here.
It's really messy. There's only 3 people left alive for Ex Oblivion. They do have control of the points, so they can stall it out a little bit more, and they are still in a situation where they can win the round with 1 successful retake. They'll have a Kitsune Rush with which to do it, but obviously Podonova has the match here, and a slight beat gap from our good friend Macaroni Glove over Ange right now, which could end up being quite pivotal. Oh,
yeah, Gucci down early in the piece again, just a free pick. The Blizzard comes out, but Ice is able to escape it this time, and they managed to flip the point too. So EXO, even though this fight is looking a little bit dicey for them, that point flip is enormous, guarantees them a final fight, though it is looking like the ult economy is a little bit scary here. Ange has multiple ults that he needs to answer. He'll have to answer a potential first beat from Macaroni Glove, a Junker Queen ult from Face Clank, and then later in the fight, maybe a high noon from Shimada. Lauren, however, who has the Tectonic, whatever it's called, goes down first to Tectonic Shock, thanks. You know, you're the pro for a reason. And then now, oh my god, it's a massive anti that is immediately Suzu'd, and it's looking like, despite the beginning of this fight, it is still somehow winnable for the side of EXO. 4 versus 5, disadvantage with ultimates, and still they managed to clutch it out.
It's actually so improbable here because they do all the hard work. They catch Lauren's split. They chase him all around the map. They do eventually get the kill, and then you think, 5v4, ults look pretty reasonable. Got a beat, got a rampage, and then all of a sudden Gucci Pulse Bomb turns it around, and Ex Oblivion maybe should count themselves lucky to get that round right there.
Yeah, EXO, you know, it did seem like their neutral fights were non-existent every single time someone gets first pick before the ult exchange. Their ultimates, they go in first, they miff it, they whiff it, they never pull the enemy team in. But despite that, they've somehow managed to edge out the round. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but, you know, I guess it's just an Ange aura thing.
Well, it's really hard to debate the existence of that when the facts are quite clearly presented in front of me right now, and it looks like they're going back to the Zarya to try and solve this problem and close it out here, Supershy.
I mean, Ice, you know, it looked like he really struggled into the Zarya, but I don't really believe in this matchup right now. The fact that Lauren is on the fire, that should make things so difficult for the Zarya. The Zarya comp really relies on being able to pressure out that D.Va and just keep walking on them. And I think a lot of pressure from Lauren should be able to shut that down. However, Ice, he shifts inside, and he's just going to... Oh, no, he's not going to lose suit. He is going to sneak out. But 100 charge Zarya now. Face Clank, the super shy tank that we know and love. Are they called Hitori?
Yep.
Face Clank, going in 100 charge now. No bubbles to speak of, so this is going to be a one-turn win it, or you are just overcommitted. But again, it's so hard for Zarya, for Icenon. He can't push in. The Zarya with such high charge just constantly marking him out of the fight.
Well, they sort of set up perfectly there for him, EXO. By taking that early engage of the Mega Room, it allowed Hitori to charge so much of her energy that she was just saying, well, by the time she got to point, she could just go into that hard carry mode. And Ex Oblivion now swapping over onto the Winston, which can also be quite effective onto this. Maybe gives them a more direct route in its Ash and Baptiste. And Ice is going early here, but again, Gucci's died. Ice is going to have his dive bubbled, has to get out, but now this high energy Zarya is just chasing this monkey around, and it's another reset for EXO thanks to an early death.
Yeah, no, looking very difficult for EXO at this point. Just This Winston swap for Ice, I'm not entirely sure whether this is a comfort pick for him or not, but it does seem like between Gucci and Ange, you're almost guaranteed to lose somebody pre-fight no matter what. Ange again now getting a little bit low. Ice is going for a bit of a setup on the right-hand side. He has committed the jump, and now he actually has an angle blocking on the point, zapping inside a window. This could be huge if he just commits. He does not commit. He's backed up into the Kitsune Rush onto the point, throwing down another bubble. Oh, this is a very messy fight on the coast again. Ange so close to the beat drop. It's a 4 versus 4. And he gets smacked in the face by a Bob.
Yeah, but Bob comes through just in time, and they do win the fight, but it ends up being quite expensive for them here. They're still dealing with Ice. They should be able to handle this, just Winston and Tracer by themselves here, but they're going to take their time.
It's still a 4 versus 3. Lauren's back now with his own Bob, so this is still going either way. Grav comes out. That does catch Ange, but the Bob to counter. No beat from Ange, but honestly, it is looking like EXO. They're going to take this one. The Bob getting, getting the best of poor Face Clank. Weird ultimate invested now on the side of Garlic Bread. If only I knew your real player name so I could flame you for that one. But very questionable blade being pulled. Huge deficit in the fight.
And now, all of a sudden, everything's said and done, and with this beat advantage, and there's quite a clear opening. We're going to get the Junker Queen swap. We're going to see Pack forcing point here on the Genji. They're just going to rotate all the way through. Ice is trying to chase him, but the bubble's a little bit shallow, actually. Ange is going to beat. It's a 3-man beat. They're trying to force it through here. Ange, Lucio Gap off the map, but doesn't die, or off the edge doesn't die. Now a chance to re-push. And Sobek getting really close to that beat. If they get to this beat timing, I don't know if Supershy have the answer.
Oh, Sobek, otherwise known as Macaroni Glove, gets that second beat, catches out Ange, and EXO, they're falling by the wayside. They're on the run. They have ultimates for the retake, but they can't be happy with that one. They had the whole of EXO, they had the entirety of Supershy corralled on the coast, on the edge of the map, and they were unable to close it out. They were unable to get any environmental kills, unable to push the supports off the map, and then as soon as that beat comes up, the game is over for them.
Kitsune rushes in the hand of both. There is a Bob advantage here for Zoro as well to throw into this mix. Ice getting close to Primal. They have the ult, but they need to connect. The Kitsune rush comes through, and they're going to go a little bit later. Bob comes out in response as well from Supershy now. They're just turning onto Ice, 92%. I don't think he's getting to Primal, 93%. He gets out of there. Primal retake.
I was going to be... Yeah, I was going to criticize that Kitsune rush for being so far back, but it's actually worked in the favor of Zerion, getting just enough healing into the fight. Lauren traded at the end here, which is probably not ideal for the ult charge perspective, but honestly, you've got to be happy with this as an EXO fan. Now going into the final fight, if Ange can just charge up this beat, Ice is going to be able to hit them with a primal on the rotation. Lauren's going to have the Bob for the final layer of the fight, and it's going to be so hard for Garlic Bread. Is that Pack?
Yes, Pack.
That's going to be so hard for Garlic Bread, otherwise known as Pack, to get this blade off versus the Winston. Ice gets knifed, has to use the primal extremely early. Ange only 85% on the beat. It's looking really difficult for him. But Gucci catches Shimada. Now we're in the final fight territory.
Rampage coming up close. They have the blade already. They have to try and make this work. Ange's going to be desperate for that beat, but kind of needs it for a few of the ults. If they can use the Bob to survive the beat, then or survive the blade, then the beat for the Rampage maybe. They're going to go for this coast rotate again. Ice chooses not to engage, and it'll just be a brawl on the point here.
It's a 5-man dino there on the coast. Ange is 1 health. Ange goes down before getting the beat off. It's 99-99, and Ange has gone down with beat. Could that have been a knife from Face Clank or Hitori? I'm not entirely sure, but it's looking like it's actually clutchable. The Bob has taken down 2. Ice Storm has got the 3rd, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. Ice is jumping out for the Mega. They're willing to concede the cap here. Maybe they don't even have to concede the cap. Gucci somehow dodges a knife while standing still, and Ange, the genius, he comes back with the beat drop to clutch it out. He knew that beat would be much more valuable in a 3 versus 2 at the end than it would be in the actual ult exchange, and through some miracle, through some gap in aura, Ange Smoke in the chat, please. EXO have stolen this map away.
It's unbelievable how... You know how you think you can see the entire world, everything in front of you, and then you encounter someone who just has vision that goes way beyond your own, and you realize how little you know? That's how it feels watching Ange save that beat, trusting his team to stall out and come back, beat one more time just to seal the deal. And I don't know. You got to feel robbed though, right? You got to feel like you've just been absolutely robbed of your Supershy. They had no answer to the Zarya comp for the most part, no real great answer for the Junker Queen comp, and as a result, they find themselves, I guess, one map down.
Bravo, Ange. That's all I have to say. You know, even when he shits the bed, he manages to come back and clutch it out. Um, Not really to suggest that that beat drop was the clutch moment. To be honest, let's be real here for a second. We're not living in a fantasy world.
I'm looking at numbers, and I can see Zirion up top with 10 deaths. Bit of a problem. 32 and 5 for Gucci, that's a decent ratio. I mean,
Excellent ratio.
For the most part, Supershy, again, like, KDs look mostly better, maybe if you take Gucci out of the equation, you know? Higher deaths on the supports. But somehow, some way, brought themselves back into it.
Mm.
And you have to wonder now if that just provides, like, are EXO just going to cruise it from here, right? Now, I mean, that's a pretty good example of, like, some of Chris' theory, right? Where the underdog team starts very well on the cough, and the more winnable it gets, the less winnable it gets, and they just find a way to throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen a lot of buckles come out from EXO, though. Even though they have these well-established leads, they do find ways to piss it away. You would think that that first map was a good example of that. By the way, do you know if UB1 is UB's Twitch account? Because I've just been followed by UB1. If that is UB, if that's UB right there, yeah. what's good? G, say hello. But yeah, I think definitely a winnable series still for Supershy, unless of course Chris theory comes into effect. And this was just pure Chris theory or Hardy theory. I forget whose theory this was. Can we get some WUB in the chat, please? That feels important.
I can't remember what the second map is. I want to say it's almost invariably always King's Row, so I feel like that's a safe enough bet. Love a King's Row in the FACEIT. I don't really know what direction, because it felt like we saw Supershy ban Parisio, I think, as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it feels like, in theory, Supershy don't want to play the dive mirror. We'll take it to that side of things. But there's so many dive maps in the map pool. I feel like it's actually really hard to avoid these things.
Yeah, no, sorry. I've started a war in my chat by acknowledging the existence of UV. It's a terrible mistake.
It's actually Eichenwald as well, which is a clear sign of my deteriorating memory. Pax actually joined chat as well, so while you're getting a war, I'm actually just getting information from the players as Pac informs us he is now a Genji OTP.
I mean, Ange just put a message in the chat, actually. Ange TV. I gotta VIP him, dude. Such a standout player, you know? Such a consummate performer. Night after night, he's here in the European FACEIT games putting on a show. Like, you love to see it, honestly. You genuinely love to see it. All right, Eichenwald. I mean, it's a somewhat dive-friendly map, but we are in Europe, so we should be reasonable here.
Yeah, but we're in New Europe. Old Europe. Not possible. New Europe. It's a dive continent now.
I mean, it's like a Mickey Mouse stuff continent. You know, it's like half these teams, they play Winston for half a map and then they swap over to Diva, or they swap over to their ground tank. So I don't know. I'm not entirely confident as to what we're going to see rolling out here. I feel it's too early to say.
You know how it is with these, like when you're asking like a continent or a country or something to change over time, Hunter. Sometimes it's a slow change through osmosis rather than just an immediate change to suddenly being a dive nation, you know?
Jake's osmotic theory, of course. Jake and the theories of how to modernize a country, or how to westernize a country, you know? He learned this in Economics 101 in the first lecture at university before he dropped out, by the way.
It was a surprisingly wide range of topics covered in Economics 101, even though you would maybe expect it to be a little bit more economics focused, but you can't knock it.
I think it's, you know, it's called college dropout 101, you know? Like a surface level understanding of the world. It's a beautiful thing. Although I would argue that Jake is probably more well-learned in world politics than any of us. You know, he's just got that aura about him.
And
what do we have here?
You were right. Bit of a round mirror.
Yeah.
A classic.
Ground versus ground. I think this is pretty dodgy come the second point, you know? I struggle to see this on the second point, but for first, this seems like a pretty solid pick. Gucci, you know, just on the... is this a full-blown mirror, actually? It is. And this works pretty well for the side of, you know, Lauren and Gucci, both looking pretty confident on the Pharah and Ashe throughout these past few matches. So if you're a Supershy fan here, I think you got a little bit to what you're worried about, you know? Supershy, they were edging out advantages by getting comp differences. I think if you wind up in a mirror here, things get a little bit more concerning.
We see already as Hattori is trying to bully her way in that she's actually taking loads of damage on these form timings and isn't actually able to make too much. Now they're going to try and come the other side. Zoro swinging from the opposite side, gets poked out, and Ice just really been able to get the more efficient trades on these form timings. Hattori's going to try and swing onto point now, and they're all in the same place right here, Supershy, as Gucci's going to swing quite wide, but runs straight into a Farah. Might cause himself some problems there, but he's got the pocket from Ange, and they managed to stabilize. They'll top Gucci back up, and they'll try and retake through this angle very shortly.
You've got to watch out, though, because Pac, he's so far ahead on this barrage. A really quick barrage. And now Window comes down from Potanova, and Pac has the flank covered. Gonna throw it down inside. Catches Ange. Very nearly catches Gucci as well. Might chase for the kill. Looks like they won't be chasing for the kill. And Zerian has thrown down the Window in the meantime. So right now, a 4 versus 4, but not a very good trade for Supershy. Losing your flex support is a huge deal. You will slowly rot down if you can't close out the fight quickly in this situation. Despite that, Iceland is the one to go down. Sobek Ajaxes!
What? Everything was right there for them. Sobek confirms his own AJ. Appreciate the self-report. Very helpful. And now, all of a sudden, out of what looked like a fight soon to be lost, they've turned it into a scrap. And that's going to allow them time. They're trying to get their Ramatra back as soon as possible. But look at this. Zoro getting on point. Pac getting on point as well.
Real disaster material here for the side of Supershy. That Ajax really sealing the deal. And then Ange back with the beat drop, able to turn it. It's a 4 versus 4, but Zoro's Bob is actually putting in work. Takes down Lauren, takes down the lamp. Potanova goes down, but Ice is dead. Ice is dead with ult, no less. And suddenly, Zoro has decided, I'm just going to do it myself. The burn lands on the Ashe. Gucci's not receiving any healing. Goes down. Ange is the only one left. Lauren will soon be back on the Farah, but Zoro is single-handedly killing every member of EXO.
As it's becoming so chaotic, and with all this chaos, we go from a situation where maybe the flanks are being kept under control and we get these 2v2 situations, to certain players who just have like complete freedom to swing and take over. We've seen that from Zoro here, and now, as
Zoro
expected...
didn't even swing! He was stood AFK in main, they were all just walking into his crosshair. It was unbelievable!
Well, yeah, good things come to those that wait.
Fuck. It's actually such a hit scam player montage moment.
And now we actually get the Winston and the Anna swap here, so a pivot of comp for the more high ground orientated second point. And they're just going to keep this cart forcing here. Barrage comes out from Lauren though. They weren't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that, and the backline's gone, evaporated and sent back to spawn. Might even be a spawn hold here, actually.
I mean, if they go for a spawn hold, Pac is going to be in pole position. Has Pac noticed that somebody died? They can now hear them, because Pac is hiding up on the high ground as... Oh, there we go. All right, miss a couple of... Wow.
Oh! It's fine.
Okay, at least they've not staggered. At least they've managed to get out. Good thing that they've given Farah so much mobility that you can teleport across the entire map with no consequence whatsoever. Love to see that, honestly. Potanova now 70% on the nano boost. That will be extremely powerful if thrown onto Pac or Hattori. Very difficult combo to counter though. If we do go for the nano barrage, if we see that coming out, bit of a difficult angle for the nano barrage though. Thankfully Farah has unlimited mobility, so it might not be an issue.
They drop a nade onto Ice to try and make some space, and actually Hattori might need this nano. Yeah, they have to go onto her immediately, so now she's forced to try and make this work. Onto the Ashe in the back, will take care of that one, but there's a full of Ramatra running into her. She gets away, sleep now. Barrage onto the sleep. Didn't feel necessary, did it? But
oh, goodness. Yeah, no, who needs a 3-2-1 when you can just barrage them? Nice little fadeaway kill there onto Zerian as they beam them out of the sky. And suddenly, things are actually looking up for the side of Supershy. The Primal Rage in an area where it's extremely easy to get environmental kills, a Bob when the enemy is soon going to need to touch the cart or lose the point entirely, and a rally if the enemy team pushes in too aggressively. A lot is resting on the shoulders of Ange and Iceland here to get ult value. Hattori though, she's being poked out so much on the close wall, and they've actually died. They've been punched to death by the swing. This is an absolute disaster for Supershy.
You talk about like all the different fights you have in Overwatch, and they're not all equal. There are some situations, especially on these tricky second points like Icon World, that is so big and so long. When you have these forward hold advantages, when you have these situations, it's so important you convert these snowballs, because it's now that difficult retake they were struggling with before. They have to do it again, but now without the advantage of being able to pressure point. They're going to try and get underneath here, but you have to imagine they're going to make this rotation hell.
I mean, we've got Pac on this flank again, just being chased down. Hitori has actually jumped in onto the Ashe and will take down Gucci. Bob goes off the map. Zerion dueling Pac. Pac goes down, so it's a 4 versus 4. But Hitori has retained the Primal Rage. 418 latency for me, so I can only imagine my stream viewers are having a wonderful experience right now.
Hitori's going to move over to point now, has for Primal to keep forcing this one in. They've maybe got their backline through, but there is a Ramattra right behind, so they're going to bob to force for point here, and Gucci's had to use recall, so Gucci's in big trouble. Between the Bob and Hitori, Gucci has to run. Now Sobek with the rally as well, just playing Body Keeper against Ice. Ice does have the Annihilation to touch, but cannot touch. They can't get through, and it's just going to be, we worried it was going to be a difficult second point at the end, but actually, they just come back and nail it the very next time, even if it did cost him a couple of ults.
It's a very ugly second point defense from EXO, though. Ice and Ange, they had those beat drops in the previous fight, and they've managed, oh, they've had the beat drop and the Annihilation in the previous fight, but somehow they've managed to retain them both going into third. How can you lose so much ult value? Just losing objectives without pushing ultimates into the fight? Not a great look. Nano Boost has come out onto Pac. Pac going in, but not committing the barrage, and then Ice actually turns it, pushing it with the Annihilation, getting a kill on Zoro. Oh, Ange.
He just came hurtling around the corner straight into a Pharah, but he'll be remiss to learn that the Pharah actually has a rocket launcher. And now Hitori trying to turn it barrage onto the Ramattra. Wow, this happens. And they just suckered them in and punished them right there.
Shades of Fearless in Hitori's Primal Raging there, taking down 2 with absolute ease, a genuinely insane juggle coming out. Quite like that. And now Ice has to come back on the Mauga. There's a Mauga Bastion coming out the left door.
Nade onto Ice forces him to lose all his HP early. They just need to try and dodge this Bastion for a little bit. Bomb into the back causes Zoro some problems, and actually, the Bastion is held. Lauren's going to double down with this venture. Don't know about that. Does have to drill dash to get themselves out of that one, and somehow, some way, despite Ice basically getting one shot, they've managed to stabilize, and this is maybe where we see some of the issues with Winston now in this third point. Suddenly, Mauga Bastion really tricky for Hitori now.
We really need to see a Nano Boost come out here. Hitori is probably going to have to touch the point. You can see their bubble has been thrown down very early. Pac under a lot of pressure. The Nano Boost is ready, but it goes onto Pac instead of Hitori. And Hitori is left out to dry. Dead so early on, and then you're pinned between a Window Bastion and a Mauga shooting you. And even though it looked so good for Supershy on the snowball, somehow the Mauga Bastion Gambit is what holds them in place. They hold third.
It's kind of a similar story to second, where we actually see Supershy giving themselves really big advantages, getting themselves into great situations, and not quite converting it as you would hope they do. They got away with it on second, run out of time on third. So issues really for both teams, I think, as we look across this.
Yeah, I think, you know, that nano turn at the very end there, it was a little bit suspect. Maybe they should have realized that they needed to charge up that nano a little sooner. Cavo the Cat, I genuinely have no idea why Supershy is playing Pharah without Mercy. I think they are silly. I think they're, yeah, they've got no clue what they're doing.
We'll wait and see if anyone uses the Mercy in this next round here, because it feels like they're both pretty Pharah Ashe pilled for the most part, proving that Pac came into chat to say he was an OTP on Genji. Blatant lie, but if I tell you a piece of information that Pac is French, maybe we could have seen that one coming a little bit.
You know, I wish you hadn't told me. Way to kill the mood, man.
It's better to know. It's better to know.
Rip the Band-Aid off, I suppose. Rip the Band-Aid off.
And now it looks like this is a bit of a, just like a Houston Outlaws throwback with an Anna Brig Ramattra defense.
Yeah, no, we've got the Sobek throwback, and we're just going to see the slow defense coming through. No Lucio in play. Thank you, Funny Astro, for the orange emote. Lauren getting poked down very early. That must have been a direct early on in the piece. Ice back on the Diva instead of one of the more ground-locked tanks. Let's see whether this pays off. I feel like this doesn't play very well into the Sobek throwback, but somehow the entirety of Supershy have just been rotated off the point. They have not held very much, and they're actually giving a lot of space. So right now they're stuck between two angles, but Gucci is the one to go down, getting picked very early on, which I'm not entirely sure how that's happened, because it did look like there was a very good setup in play there for EXO, but Gucci going down, that probably doesn't help it.
Yeah, Super Shy kind of rotated away from some danger, but actually rotated into a position where they were surrounded on 3 sides, which is normally a bad thing if you're in some sort of like stable backline comp like an Anna Brig. But they get away with it because Gucci just dies, and now they can reset up on point. Ice is going to be trying to walk in this right-hand side, just get some of that space, but really quite stable, and we're getting pretty close to that Podanova Nano as well. But Gucci's just clicks on clicks on Pack, for goodness sake, Pack. And as a result, everyone else is going to walk in. So Pack maybe cost his team the point, if not, yeah, the entire cap actually here with that second pick too.
Yeah, no, it's something of a questionable defense there on the side of Super Shy. First time around, Gucci was the one to give it away, but then with the Regoose, you know, instead Gucci was the one to give us the cap. So, you know, you can't fault them, you know? They can give away one, but if they give it back afterwards, that's totally fine. These trades are more or less meaningless. The card is going to continue to roll. You know, now they're essentially staggering, just pushing forward towards the spawn. If they wanted to go for that forward fight, they probably should have waited a little bit until the cart was closer to the door before going, at least so they could have 5 players.
It almost felt like that was the sort of move you'd make if you were planning to recontest first, but the cap had already gone, so they leave themselves in a weird situation.
Or if you had a Lucio, maybe. But well, unfortunately, they've forgotten that they're on the Sobek throwback comp.
Well, you presume they're going to swap Winston at some point, but Hittori now has that Annihilation, so it's staying for that. But now Hittori's dropped to point. There's a real chance for Ex Oblivion just to dive over her head and just hit this backline, but maybe not if Lauren dies before the fight. I mean, we're maybe accustomed to this now after watching Ex Oblivion for a map and a half.
Yeah, bit of a theme of this series, but you know, when you watch SSG versus ENCE, it takes until the ult fight for people to start dying. But when you're watching Super Shy versus Ex Oblivione, it's actually, you can never predict when somebody is going to die, because at any given moment somebody could just evaporate. People are, you know, temperamental in a series like this, less survivable. Icenom actually shifting up onto the high ground, and there we go. We get yet another neutral fight death.
Rally Bob?
Make that 3 deaths. I'm not sure about the Rally Bob when you already have a massive advantage, but you know, we've got to keep the series interesting somehow, right?
They do everything right. They try to just do this rotation.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, there's no way. What? Why is my Anna dead to a remake? Why
is my Anna sucking the D.Va off? Oh my god, just absolutely fucking hopeless. Trying to stagger a baby D.Va, standing on top of their head, getting smooshed on Ana, and then needing to burn your barrage for it. Suddenly a fight where it was a 5 versus 4 with 5 check marks has turned into 3 ultimates wasted. And now, if you're an EXO head, I mean, look at this shit. 5 ultimates for EXO? This retake, it's got to be free. All they need to do is stand on the cart and wait for something to happen.
I mean,
nobody's on cart, mind you.
Yeah. Only Hittori. They're going to barrage really early. Suzu and Pocket comes through, so Lauren will live but gain no value. But getting no value out of ults really does seem par for the course so far. Now the Annihilation on point, but Hittori is all alone, so focus down with ease. And they've only used Bob and Barrage for this. Oh, they're making it a dogfight, actually. They're going in. Kitsune Rush will be committed by Zerion, so they will hopefully clean this up, avoiding too many more trades. And they've somehow stabilised, but still beat in the hands of Ange. Sobek now with Rally, and it's kind of balanced itself out, but do you find yourself wishing that maybe they kept the streamer names on so I didn't know who these people were?
Yeah, no, it really threw me for a left hook almost when all of the players on Super Shy minus Pack actually turned off streamer mode so that I could read their names. Ange now comes in with the beat drop, 5 versus 4, so that's not too bad for him, really. Wants to close out the point from the looks of it, and as Hittori goes down, it is looking like it is probably going to be a cap here. Boop from Ange, I'm not sure that that's going to secure a kill, but, you know, we're now on 3rd point with 3 minutes, so, you know, the EXO, it's not looking too bad anymore.
Eyes on Hittori here as well. I don't know if she's going to pick to swap. Does go over onto the Zarya, and now we're going back to this. Lucio swap, May swap as well. So now it starts to feel like a comp that's going to absolutely chew through that D.Va. Ice already committed here, but 2 minutes 40 seconds, so time to lose a fight and do a swap of their own if they need it here. But we've seen this, well, sort of work for Super Shy in the past. Oh.
And then, you know, as is EXO Super Shy theory, immediately somebody gets picked before anything has actually happened. Ange goes down. Can we get some L Ange in the chat for that one, I suppose? But yeah, I think that this comp, honestly, could be the solution for Super Shy. It looked really solid for them on Lijiang, And here now, with their backs to the wall, could be great. Unfortunately, Hattori appears to have overextended. Portanova plays a little bit of the no lamp challenge. And it's a 1-for-1 trade, though. Zoro has to throw in the bob for it, but we are in a 4 versus 4. Defenders massively favored with these trades. So honestly, not the worst situation for Supershy. Oh, Ice also getting a little bit greedy, pushing to the spawn, going for that kill. And Ice will go down, committing the bomb. So suddenly, Hattori, what looked like Hattori's feed, has converted into a really good fight for them. It's drawn out a lot of time, it's charged a lot of ult, and it has actually taken Ice's ult away.
Interestingly enough, now I guess the advantage of playing the no lamp challenge is that when Ice doubled down from that aggressive play, there was still a lamp in play, so Portanova actually survives the entire thing. And now the ult economy feels a little bit more reasonable. We got Growth, we got Blade coming up. They still need to get to these ults, and there's a small timing, and that ramp swap might actually be pivotal. Much nicer to play the Remarcher into the Zarya and the D.Va.
Oh, Blade comes out from Pack, but it's not enough. The big counter from Anj is perfect. Hattori pushing very deep, going for some of these trade kills, but only 1 kill for Pack, and now they need to stop the cart. Soybek will be back with a beat drop if Zoro can get the touch, and it's looking like he won't, because the barrage has come through. Oh, you can see that they were relying on the point touch of the Tracer there, and that barrage in the spawn door was perfect. So close.
If they get that touch as well, I'm pretty certain they win that too. I think they're really in pole position if they get that, because Hattori coming back on full charge, then has bubbles to use as well, can really stall it out. But what a weird item vault.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. I think that the Sobek throwback wasn't really what we needed, to be honest. I think that the Lucio was a little bit more reliable. And unfortunately, going down like 99% on the beat in that final fight, just not what you need to see. You know, it would have been lovely if we could have actually seen a beat drop come out at some point on the defense. It's an Anj thing. Anj has like, in this series, he has plot armor. Is this career level? This is
what happens when crazy. This is what happens when Crazy Raccoon are on the verge of losing a series, but instead of Shu, it's Anj.
Yeah, this is super Korean level. That's correct. This is well above Korean level. There's basically like a hierarchy of Overwatch gameplay, and it's like you've got like your fanatics, then you've got your Crazy Raccoon. And then up above all that, you've got Anj. Anj is covering my visual description, so I'll do it a little lower. You know, Fnatic, Crazy Raccoon, Anj. Any team with Anj on it. Anj absolutely clears Shu, that's correct. Often I talk about, GOAT status, and, you'll hear people talk about lip, proper, Shu, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's all just lip service for Korean players, because Anj is actually the greatest of all time. Anj is the greatest to never do it.
Here's a suggestion for you. Would a Shu Anj backline be the perfect backline?
I think a Shu Anj backline, it would be far too powerful for the world to ever witness. If you ever saw the Shu Anj backline, it would just be boring, because you would never see that team lose a match ever again. And that's not something that the viewers need. So Shu and Anj, they have a gentleman's agreement to never team up, because they want to keep matches interesting. Flack has asked, where's Nightmare on that list? Obviously, for the dollars that Flack pulls around, obviously Nightmare is, equal to Anj tier. I can't, in all honesty, put Nightmare above Anj tier, but Nightmare is tied first. Owning technology will be invented just for Anj. I also don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to replicate Anj, because Anj is like, he's good as a one of one collector's item,
You can have too much of a good thing.
Exactly right. Too much Anj would be dangerous. Anj to Nightmare when.
You have to think about as well, does the current infrastructure in the world, is it equipped to handle more than one Anj?
I think we'll never be able to see more than one Anj in the world. It's one of those forms of black hole situation things, Just too much of a good thing and it's all over. How is Anj Mercy? Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. So let's check Anj's career profile real quick.
I'm being asked if I have an Anj mug as well. I didn't know they were available.
Well, that could be something that goes up on the uncoachable shop.
Should we add it to the uncoachable store? If there was an orange mug, wouldn't there be much interest from the good people of chat?
I can fuck team Peps could probably stretch a picture of Anja's face over a mug and call it merch. He's already done so for a t-shirt. How is Anjusi? A gentleman never tells. Fuck Team Peps.
All right, so while they are 2 maps up right now in the Series Ex Oblivion, this was the exact position they were in, of course, in OWCS, before ultimately crashing out and dropping the bag. So this is really now a big test of Ex Oblivion's resolve, and if they can actually close out the series as they maybe should have done last time, especially a lot maybe to worry about considering how messy and chaotic this series has been so far. So they've been reverse sweeped once in the last 7 days, but surely it wouldn't happen again.
Yeah, you can see Supershy trying as hard as they possibly can to get in the heads of Widow's Kiss. They really need to get off that name. Why have they done this? They stayed on stream mode.
It's just Pack. It's just Pack.
Yeah. French, because his whole team pretended not to speak. He did the French maneuver of pretending not to speak English when the whole team said, "Yeah, let's get off this. Let's get off this." And there you go. Did some money begging, and now we've got money. I fucking love begging for money, dude.
So we're now going to get a very different type of matchup, as the Malga is going to be on the side of Supershy. So trying to switch it up, they've been playing a wider variety of comps, but the D.Va kind of okay into the Malga here. It's going to be a Sim with it as well, which in theory should beam through it. It's a fake TP into Slam, but Hitori finds nothing. Does get to clear the space and control the map. So Supershy will get the first robot push here.
Okay. It appears that, I've received too many gift subs and it's ruined the audio now. But Hitori on the Malga now, a total... Yeah, no, I need to mute the alert box. It's a fucking disaster. Oh, goodness. I need you to waffle. I need the waffle iron again.
I'm plugging it back in. I'm plugging it back in. So we're actually getting... The robot's moving slowly further away, but they catch Zorro here, so... They do get a chance here, Ex Oblivion, to clean this one up, regain control. The rest of Supershy will reset. And as the dust settles, we're looking at a slight Kyriot advantage here for Pod and Nova, but nothing too big to speak of. Might actually be Lauren's Barrage that comes through first as they start to get this early cart push. Generally, how we'll see in these fights here is the Ashe and the Pharah want to play slightly different angles, play quite wide, just try and make it very difficult. Now, if the Malga goes on one target, the other DPS is able to get a lot of value. And here comes Hitori now, but they've sort of all just left, not close to any of that DPS with the Slam here.
Spectacular waffling from you there, Xavier. Really not looking good for the side of Ex Oblivione there. Letting the cart flip away from them. So much push happening for EXO. Not looking good for Supershy, mind you. EXO, they've won one fight and already they're at 52.4 meters. Hitori commits the slam on the Malga. They have used their shout, but Icenom is all over them, eating all of their shout turn. And Hitori is going to go down early.
Yeah, it doesn't work out for them, and after a bit of a rough start conceding all that space, it really seems like they start to get a bit of a read for this here. And it feels like there's not the follow-up on Hitori's slams that you would expect, right? You feel in theory, you normally see this comp with maybe like a Venture or a Tracer or something that can really engage with no slams. Instead, with a Sim Cass, they can push aggressively, but it's really more kill the D.Va type thing rather than punish anything else. And we've not really seen that happen so far, as Ice has countered most of these engages, but big ult fight kicking off with this high noon now.
Yes, my understanding is that Pack is a very competent sim, but we haven't seen any of that signature sim play coming out so far because Ice has just been walking all over poor Hitori. Now, though, a nice slam coming through, Ice getting pushed dangerously low, and the wall from Pack will allow them to weather the storm of this first ult layer. Got to be mindful though because Ice is behind. Beat comes out for Anj, counterbeat for Sobek, does not catch Zorro though. Zorro goes down, as does Hitori. And once again, this fight going the way of Ex Oblivione. Oh, the trade. One trade onto the Pharah, but I don't think that'll be enough.
No, it works out really nicely. The beat Barrage just so hard for Malga to do. Barrage in general was a hard ult for the Malga to deal with the beat over the top and the Matrix from Ice. There was just no way to counter it, so it just gets the value they want. So even though they're coming back with Cage and Kitsune Rush now, and it should really be a tremendously winnable fight finally for Supershy, they find themselves at the back of a 100-meter distance, and now Hitori's going to try and force a fight through again. Cage is dropped, catches them all in there, Kitsune Rush over the top, so they really should clean this one up, but somehow they lose their Malga in all of that, and how on earth does that work? The Kitsune Rush should come back, but it seems preposterous that you can win that.
Yes, I think at the end of the day, it's the fact that Zerion had his own Kitsune Rush inside the cage. Cage is really counted out by Kitsune Rush. So honestly, because Supershy didn't do a very good job of dancing in and out of it, they just didn't get the value. They could have done better there. They should not be losing that exchange. Mirrored Kitsunes inside a cage. But, you know, it seems like a bit of a crumble. Now we've got Hitori making a swap over to Winston. We wouldn't be complete without a little bit more European Winston to, you know, cap off the day.
GB.
But Ice catches Zoro, shifting up onto the high ground, an early pick. Potanova as well. So Hitori now, they're chasing around Ange, but it's not going to convert to a kill.
They're really in between two comps right now in terms of the sim cast with the Winston, but they still have this sim wall, so they're going to keep the sim for one more fight, presumably. They do need to have beat. They have the ults to stabilize here, but they have to stabilize here, or we're looking at full cap territory. And I mean, just full control now for Ex Oblivione. Can just start with maybe a bob or something, try and force this sim wall out, and just even disengage it. Oh, they're going to start with sim wall.
Very early sim wall. Looks like Hitori's getting a lot of zap with it though, and the Suzu misses from Zerion. We see this happen quite often with Zerion. He hits many a headshot, but when it comes to the Suzu game, it is a little bit of a hit or miss situation. Ice going for some very long strafes there on the cart. Love to see that. And, you know, we've often seen this on these Runasapis in the EU FACEIT, where over and over again, there is a massive push, but then we see a little bit of a renaissance, you know, a revival, where suddenly the team that is mega time banked, at least they give us a glimmer of hope. They give us something. So hopefully here, Supershy can give us a little bit of that, because it would be such a disappointment to see just a quick 3-0 here.
Wait, Lawrence just snuck in with this barrage. He's just taken over the entire map. Forces an early TP out. B has to be used now by Sobek, which allows Ange a much later beat. This barrage is still in the back here. They've used Suzu. Lawrence got all the resources out. Can he find the barrage timing? There's Ice. Will get traded by Potanova.
Finds the barrage, but trades himself. Oh, good lord. Hitori now 95% on that primal. I'm not entirely sure whether they're going to pull it out. They probably will now that the bomb has been invested, but Potanova does die, so Hitori's primal, maybe not so great. Maybe not the best, because now we're sinking ults into a lost fight. The checkpoint is once again captured, so anyone that does get traded now will be close spawning, and I mean, there are no trades.
Really hard one. They still have the Kitsune Rush coming back, but the nature is once you lose this type of lead, you don't just need to win one fight or one stabilization fight. You need to start stringing fight wins together. So that's what they need to do. They've got Bob and Kitsune Rush with which to do it. So this is their best opportunity to not just win one fight, but maybe win two fights if they can do this efficiently.
Yeah, 1 to 2 fights. It's a difficult ask. Let's see what Potanova is able to do with the Kitsune Rush here. Maybe Zoro could get a nice little uppercut with the Bob as well. Looks like Potanova has had to use Kitsune Rush rather early. Hitori very, very low. Hitori actually going deeper still. Catches a rocket on the chin and down they go. Sobek, however, does manage to diff Ange, booping poor Ange off the map. That's an Ange smoke in the chat, unfortunately. That's very difficult for Ange to get booped off the map on a map where there's barely any coast at all.
Yeah, it started so well. Potanova even hits for Dink, which really sets up. I mean, after we got the Lucio gap, Potanova hits for Dink, and that really sets up a late kill onto Zerion as well. But somehow Lauren trades 2 in that, so even when they're winning fights, there's been significant damage being done to them as well. So they will get the robot round this corner, but they've got to go pick up their Ashe. They've got to pick up their Kiri before they can take this fight proper. But a Bob to start it with, a beat to follow from Sobek. Suddenly starts to look like there's a few tools with which to do this. Just need to try and respect this double support ult situation coming out from Ex Oblivione.
Yes, the double support ultimate can be a little bit deadly if you feel the pressure to touch the carp, but fortunately with the current carp position, they can kite if they want. Zoro actually going first with the Bob, pushing in very aggressively. Zoro also pushing super deep, trying to go for Lauren. This might not be super deep, this might be super shallow actually. I think I've just realized where I am on the map. Super shallow push for Zoro. Ange copping a headshot, but there is no kill converted. Zerion so low, whiffs his TP, and Zoran is just about aim keying as well, spamming headshots. Ice throws down the bomb on carpet, it's nothing, and it is looking like we're going to see checkpoint conceded here, and for not too many ultimates, only the Bob and Pulse invested there, matched ultimates from EXO, and suddenly, you know, this is the glimmer, this is the sliver of hope that we were hoping for.
Tremendous Bob value there from Zoro in terms of setting them up for that one. They catch Zirian split, and now all of a sudden beats are equal. They have to care Barrage, but it's already getting close to this Primal. We've seen a bit of magic before. We'll see if they can repeat it here, because if they can just trade Primal for a Bob or something, might feel okay. And they try and disengage, but Hitori's jump out isn't right. Jumps into the corner. Think got boots on the way there, and it'll be a full reset, but there's still 1 minute and 15. They have time here.
Yeah, Supershy, they really needed a kite there. They needed to get out clean, and instead Hitori getting caught, that spells disaster. You know, they have caught the checkpoint. Oh, bad to worse when Pac, the Frenchman, taking down, attempting to retreat. Oh, I mean, what are the chances of that, right? And then Anj actually going for a beat, something very aggressive. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. Sobek counter beating for God knows what, and it seems like both Lucios are just throwing beats into a fight that hasn't even occurred, trying to stop staggers. Lauren going for a skybox barrage, actually catches Sobek with it. What is going on? Now the bloody Kitsune Rush has been thrown down on the objective. 2 for 2 trades on either side. Lauren, Anj, and Ice playing on the attacker's spawn side as the car pushes away from them.
Trying to get Pac out of this one, but they can't. So the Valkyrie and the Winston, they're just running with the robot, but damage is coming. Half HP already, so it'll be an easy kill onto Pod and over. Need to be careful not to stagger this one out. And what a chaotic fight. What was going on? So many ults invested. Now it's Primal versus Kitsune Rush. So if you can trade those two, you might feel okay. Maybe Zoro with a Bob to finish.
Might be difficult for Hitori to get primal value here because they're going to have to keep touching the cart early on in the piece. They're actually just going to jump off it, play somewhere a little bit safer, but they don't have the bubble. They should really relax. Instead of relaxing, they've pulled the hands very early, gone for something aggressive. But again, Hitori with the shades of Fearless. A near perfect juggle on the Farah mid-air, taking them down. Gets Zerian incredibly low too, though I'm not sure that it's going to be enough because Zerian, he has the God Hand. And there we go, a 4-piece to finish up the series for Zerian.
Great finish in the end. I mean, honestly, you can't ask for much more in that Primal. Having to Primal a little bit early because forced to touch cart, then still somehow juggling and killing a Farah in all of that, and surviving a little bit afterwards. But Kitsune Rush on point when the objective has to be contested consistently. Huge problem. And I think we might see a replay from Zerian's POV here. And there's 1, 2.
Good for 2.
Whoa.
Good for 3. Yeah, absolute.
Yeah. Pod over accepts the situation, and the God Hands come up trumps.
Anj has typed in the chat, so I'll see if I can secure Anj for a little post-match interview as we blow him up, because every time I watch Anj, he seems to lose post-match. Can we get him in here? We'll get him in the Discord.
Yeah, if he can get in general, I can drag him in. Also, in the interest of Anj W, only 1 death on that map from Anj. A single death, 17 eliminations. Can't ask for more at the crucial juncture. They avenge the previous reverse sweep.
Let's get this Anj interview up. I need to find his Discord. Where can I find Anj? I guess he'll be in the FACEIT Discord.
Can anyone see Anj?
Does anybody have Anj's Discord chat? That's what I need right now.
Can we crowdsource this from somewhere, surely?
He's got to be in here somewhere. I guess if he's not in the FACEIT Discord, he'd be in the OWCS one, right? He must be competing in OWCS. All right. He's got numbers in his Discord, dude. He's got an actual old head tag. Unbelievable. All right, let's get him the invite to this Discord and let's get this post-match interview underway. Dip has come in clutch with the tag. Unfortunately, I've already put it on Discord. I think what you need to do, chat, is you need to send Anj a friend request on Discord, is my understanding.
Hello.
There he is. Hello, Anj.
What's up?
How does it feel to win one? I've watched a few of your matches over the past few days.
Won a game, bro. Finally. Like, oh my god. Why did we not win this game in OVRCS against Supershy? That's what I'm thinking right now, you know? Like,
is it consequential for you in OWCS? Has it impacted your standings in a way that's a big deal?
Yes. I do personally think so, yeah. But also, I think the reason why we won against Supershy this time is because we changed our entire mentality about how we approach the game.
Oh, so there's been a total reset, has there?
Yeah. Basically,
What's changed?
I mean, all I said was after we lost against Supershy, I said, guys, can we just stop thinking and just like use an ult and go in and speed? Because most of the time, what happens is people start overthinking, and they're like, okay, they're gonna use this, and what are we gonna do about that? Just go in with your ult first, and then whatever the enemy team is like planning to do, gets like thrown away.
A classic tempo increase.
They have to respond to what you're using now instead of them. Yeah, they're making a plan, right? You use an ultimate. What happens? Their plan just gets like denied because they have to now respond to whatever you're using first. So I think
No,
that's...
I see the theory on this one because I was watching you guys play, and it seems like when there is a slow neutral fight before the ults even come out, somebody gets picked. It's not a slow tempo team. Your slow neutrals may not be it, but you know what? You've got Ange on Lucio, so going for the high tempo play, it makes sense. You've got to win it that way. I respect that.
Of course, it's so simple, isn't it, Hunter? It's so simple, though.
Yeah, no, I mean it sounds like some of my old teams. I've been there before. Some teams they want to slow it down and they want to just chill and outplay people. But sometimes you got to take the Ange approach for sure.
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta like grab the horse by its whatever it's called. I don't know the saying.
The bull by the horse.
I don't know. It depends on where you're grabbing the horse.
Yeah.
Don't grab the horse.
I mean, where does this horse even come from?
Okay, all right. I think we've gotten enough Ange theory out of the way. Thanks for showing up.
You can never have enough Ange, man. Come on, man. Ask the chat. Come on, you can never have enough. Give me another question.
I mean, look, mate, I don't know if you've seen the state. I don't know if you've seen the state of my fucking chat, dude. But it's like literally just your head. Like all it is. I imagine Commander X's chat doesn't look like this. Like Commander X's chat is probably people asking questions about the game and stuff. But it's like every single message is just your face over and over and over again. Like, are you happy to have had this career renaissance where you've become the most famous co-streamed player in Europe now?
I mean, I love it. Honestly, I love it.
I'm very glad because I'm glad that you're a good sport about literally every single person in the fucking Twitch chat typing your face over and over again because it's made for good chat activity.
Yeah, it's some good content for you as well, no?
Yeah, no, advertisers love him. So this is a wonderful thing. I appreciate that.
So let's talk about the advertisement money split then right on stream
of
here.
Course.
How much
the money for use of your likeness.
How much am I getting? Let's talk some money here.
You want to talk dollars?
Use?
Okay.
Maybe per use would be
I told you before, Hunter, just a kiss and a hug, and I'm good, man. I'm sold.
Okay. Well, look, we can do a kiss and a hug, but we also need like an exclusivity rights thing where it's like for every time someone writes an Ange in the chat, you're getting like the value that like an artist would get for a Spotify stream. You're getting that. So if we get like a couple of million Anges in the chat, you'll get like a $15 check in the mail. Is the sort of situation that we're looking at.
Plan to me, man.
So I don't know if you've got a background in software, but if you can have a tool that archives the number of Anges put in the chat, then if for every million you're going to get $10. That's the going rate.
Let's make it happen, bro. Let's make it happen.
We'll make it happen. But the kiss and the hug, that can also be arranged. Who do you guys play in OWCS? Who's your first round?
Ooh. Let me quickly look at Wikipedia right now.
Wait. Are you trolling, Hunter, or is this like a bit, or are you asking?
What are you asking? What? No, I'm serious. Is he out?
We're out, Hunter.
Oh, because you lost to Supershy.
Oh my god.
No, that wasn't a bit. I just wasn't watching.
You're calling yourself
No, I started like less than a week ago, dude. I think I started 9 days ago, so it could have already happened actually.
I was expecting professionalism from you, and this just, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like you know the reality of the situation. You know that I'm clueless. I only started paying attention to these games halfway through the week, and all of these FACEIT games, they're beautiful because they're just nonsense Swiss. Like, there's no continuity, there's no consequences. I don't need to know a bracket or anything. It's just a bunch of games that mean nothing. So I guess your opponent in OWCS is yourself. Good to know. Better luck in stage 4, buddy. Like that.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you. Right, let me see the last couple of W Anges in the chat. Come on, please. Let's.
Yeah, please. Franch, he's come in for the interview.
This is your last opportunity, guys. Come on, let's see them. Let's see them.
We'll see a few more W Anges. Fill it out. Fuck Team Peps has also given $1 to just write your name over and over and over again. So that's money well spent. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Ange.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you, Ange.
Bye bye, everyone.
Cheers.
I'll see you.
Legend of the scene. True legend of the scene. Actually, unbelievable how long he's been around. potentially was there for the Immaculate Conception.
Might have been involved.
He may have been involved, but you know, I'm not sure how that fits with the immaculate kind of timeline of it. But you know, he may have had some tangential involvement. Is there any more content that can be like wrung out of today, or are we pretty much at the end? Someone said watch SSG versus AOMA, but like, is that even possible, or has it already started?
Let me have a goose. It says it
can they throw you in mid match, or?
It says ongoing. They can. It's currently 2-0 to SSG, though.
Okay, so it sounds like not a lot to be seen there, to be honest.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can
Sparker
see.
was in chat 1 minute ago.
It looks like they're still in game because they're still like up with the screen share, you know, in the voice.
I see. So it's cooked basically. It's completely.
Feels
cooked.
like it's not going to be a AOMA sweep in this one, which should all but lock our standings, right? Ents first. I'll bring it up so the chat can see. So Ents first, SSG second, VP in third, EXO fourth, GG fifth.
Yeah, Xavier's talking brackets now, so I'm out of my depth.
When you did it the first time, when you asked Ange about like OWCS, I thought you were doing a bit. When you did it the second time, that's when
it's like, oh no, he actually doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Wait, is he still?
So did Supershy knock them out of OWCS?
Yeah, they reverse swept him to knock him out of OWCS.
Oh, so that's why there was just like an unbelievable amount of hatred in match chat after the loss. People being like crying, couldn't reverse sweep, you suck, you're shit, all that. Like I understand. That was a wonderful bit for the stream.
Yeah, I'm sure you're glad you're now informed about the bit.
Yeah. I had an Uber driver who looked like Ange today. Consider yourself lucky. It's not every day you get blessed, but you know, you made it. All right. I suppose that's probably the end of the content for today, right?
That's probably it then. But we'll be back. What are you doing this week? Are you doing all of?
Is OWCS starting tomorrow or the day after?
Tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. So it's Pacific during the day, which I presume won't motivate you. But
yeah,
EUNA in the evening. Those games. You know, when you're talking about you want to do the VP AOMA one. That game's tomorrow.
Right. Okay. So I guess I will be doing.
It starts, I think, 2 a.m. your time, the same time the Ents VP one started today.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be doing every day going forward. Then I suppose just the next the next 4 days,
Next
like
4
all
days.
of OWCS.
Yeah.
Next 4 days. So that'll be 6 days in a row of 2 a.m. starts, which is fucking awesome. I think that's really cool. Me and the Sun, we have a pretty touch and go relationship nowadays. We don't get along so good.
Well, the Sun's overrated for the most part.
Yeah, it has like serious impacts on one's mental health when you don't see the sun for multiple days. I'm definitely going to try and like force myself to sleep now that this is like, ending kind of early, so that I can get up and get some real good sunlight. But it's so hard to go from the rush. It's just, the thing is, the rush of watching Ange, it keeps you awake, right? Like, how can I possibly close my eyes and sleep now after Ange has just stimulated me so aggressively for so long? Like, I need an hour to cool off. I need to watch an episode of House MD and, just relax.
Well, probably just jerk it a few times until you tuck yourself out.
Yeah, no, true. Actually, I could just wank myself to sleep. That could be the move. The Ange bedspread merch. That could be insane. I mean, the fact that there's Mag crying bedspreads.
What do you mean? There's Mag crying? Wait. There's Mag crying bedspreads.
Did you not see it? Oh, actually,
No.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday's stream content for me. Sugar Free. Somebody bought him a blanket. Someone in his family bought him a blanket of Mag crying after he'd lost to Atlanta Academy. It's really good. Really, really good stuff.
I feel like as well, the current Ange you have, wide Ange. That would be what you want on the bedspread. Like, you want it to be...
absolutely.
You want it to be stretched.
You want it distorted. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can't preserve the aspect ratio properly. Nobody wants to wear a selfie-sized blanket, but just stretch him across. Make him fit the whole bed, and I think it would work just fine.
Yep, and you just snuggle up with his face wrapped around you.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well, I might do a little bit of money begging on the broadcast and call it a day.
All right. I'll see you. I'll probably see you tomorrow.
Yeah, no, see you tomorrow and every day that follows. I think we're not going to do the same first game, but then everything else will probably wind up reconnecting because it's only the first game that's
Yeah, well,
is that how that works?
All the games are at the same time.
For the first round, but then afterwards, no, right?
Yeah, so then after Thursday, it's just going to be a proper, like, every game is streamed on the main broadcast, nice, easy, co-stream, just hang out whenever we want type thing. No, like, clashes in schedule or anything. So it's just.
Is it only the first game on Thursday?
Well, it's only the first game, but they play all 4 EMEA games at the same time, and then they play all 4 North America games at the same time. So I think it might.
There's only one match on that day per region. I was having a look on Wikipedia, and it looked like there was more, but I could, I am so consistently wrong about everything to do with brackets, format, etc.
The lower bracket also happens, but the lower bracket happens split. So 4 games happen at the same time, which obviously we'll divide and conquer, and then the 2 lower bracket games happen one after the other, and I presume the same will then be true with North America as well. So 3 games tomorrow, just some overlap for the first fixture of each region.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow as soon as we have the opportunity to reconnect.
I'll give you a knock, mate.
Yeah, no, I love the knock. Everyone loves the knock.
You know what they say? You can't knock the knock.
You can't knock the knock. All right. See you, fellas.
Good night.